So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna carry on with the how to repair, how to maintain your E30, right? So firstly, we've got a pillarless that's coming. We're gonna do a full feature on this vehicle. Left and right pillarless. I think Rosmas brought it in. Belongs to one of our good customers. Guys, only got 61,000 Ks on the clock. This is a this is how you define clean and low mileage. This guy's just it's just nice and clean, right? There's no other words for it. You can't. It's hard to describe this car. So anyway, we're gonna do that feature on this vehicle here, right? But for now, this guy's coming basically for a service. She's got an oil leak and she's got a water leak, right? But I'm not gonna tackle that in the series. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a basic service on it. This episode is basically here to show you how to service your vehicle or do a minor service on it. So a minor service will contain or consist of your oil change, oil filter change, your fuel filter change, your spark plugs, and an air filter, right? So air filter also, we can also base that if the car's air filter is good, because some of the filters are meant to last much longer, and based on the mileage that this car does, the filter might not need to be changed, but we'll go through that in the episode. So first step is, what we want to do is we want to jack the car up and get the oil drain. So remember that the oil sump flows to one side, which is going to be the right hand side. So we want to jack the left side up, getting all the oil out, right? So we're going to jack the car up. We're going to do oil drainage on it, but I'm also going to change the sump, the oil sump gasket on this vehicle here. So I will do that in between the episode or in between the other changes that we're going to do. So we're going to start off with the oil change. We're going to do the oil drain first. While that is draining out, we're going to get to spark plugs, check that out. We're going to gap them properly. We're going to be using the NGK BP6ES plugs. That's on a standard car, that is fine. On the stroker cars or the other performance cars, there's another plug that we use, and we'll get into that at a later stage. We'll make sure that they gap properly. We'll also have a look at those plugs here to see the condition of them and see how the motor is running. Then we will do a fuel filter change, right? That's just a basic filter change. And we'll also check on the filter if there's any dirt coming out, or how clean or dirty it is. If it's dirty, we might look at just doing an injector clean quickly on the car. But if it's clean, we're not going to worry about that. This is an import car, so remember, Europe does have a lot of rust issues. So there might be a chance that the fuel in the tank might be dirty. So even though the mileage is low, the fuel might be dirty. So there is oil filter, spark plugs, fuel filter, and then we're going to do an oil filter change. We're also going to change or check the air filter, right? So there's 5 items that we're going to tackle here. The whole point of this episode is that we would like to show you guys how to service your own car, so you don't have to, if you can't get to a mechanic, or if you don't want to get to a mechanic, or if you feel that you'd like to do something on your vehicle, this is not the opportunity to try and learn how to do it, and you can maintain it with a basic experience, with basic experience needed. What we are also doing is, between Ratical Inc and Zen Parts, which is Shaheen Hussain, and you've seen that you guys, he's actually opened up his shop about 2 months ago, and he's got a lot of stock available for the E30s. We've basically uh, we're working together on trying to put solutions together for E30 owners or E30 builders. So one of the solutions is going to be a service kit. So your service kit is going to consist of, again, I'm going to repeat myself, is your 6 spark plugs, right? And that will be dependent on what setup you're running, your oil filter, your correct oil, your fuel filter, and the air filter if needed. That is available either at Ratical Inc or at Zen Parts. The links are going to be in the captions and in the descriptions. And yeah, let's get started with it. I'm going to jack the car up quickly. Then we're going to do a drainage. Just bear with me when we're working under the car. I am going to hold the camera up. It's going to be a handheld, so footage might not be all that great, but I'm going to do the best. Hope you enjoy the episode, guys. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do is, we're not working on a lift here. We're basically simulating if you had to do it by yourself, right? So what I've used to drain the oil is, I've used an old 5-liter bottle. I'm just putting another tray on here so I don't spill. Then we've got the sump nut here at the bottom. That's your drain nut. So we've jacked the car up on the left hand side of the vehicle so it can throw all the oil to the right hand side because the drain nut is on the right hand side. Your sump nut is a size 17, so anti-clockwise we will loosen the nut. So what you'd like to do is, the easy way out is just to loosen your nut a little bit, and then you can hand loosen it afterwards and get ready to catch oil. So you hold the nut in while you're loosening it out, right, because the oil is going to push it back. And should be out. By now. Okay, I wasn't supposed to drop the sump nut in there. But anyway, so you can see the oil flowing out. The oil is dirty. It hasn't been changed in a while. Okay, so we're gonna leave this guy to run out for a bit. Stop. Okay guys, so while the oil is draining, we're gonna come up here to the top right and we're going to do spark plugs. So obviously M20 motor 6-cylinder, you've got 6 spark plugs. Spark plug number 1 to number 6, right? We're gonna take the plugs out, have a look at them, and it should give us an indication of how the motor runs, how the motor has run. If there's been any issues with fueling or with air or oil coming up or whatever it is, we will be able to see there. So you'd be able to tighten it up a bit and pop them out. So normally when you buy a plug socket, you've got a rubber on the socket that collects the plug for you. Right, my one is out, so I had to put my hand in to collect it. So if you ever look at this plug here, this is actually a good indication of wear on the motor, right? So here she's running Bosch plugs. I don't really like to run the Bosches anymore. But if you look at the wear on the electrode there, on the inner electrode, you will see that there's actually even wear on it. The burn on it is the color that we want. So we wanted offish color. It shows us that the burn is correct there. If it was fully white, it means that the motor was running too lean, or there's some fluids running in, some coolants running into the combustion chamber, washing it out. If it was too black, or black all around, that would mean that the motor is running too rich. We don't want that. However, on the stroker vehicles, you will find that happening quite often. And then if you add muck in here, then that's another story for another ball game. But basically, you want a plug looking like this here, right? So we'll go through with the new plugs. We will have your gapping checked before we put in, and then we'll just check what the correct torque setting is for that and have them torque properly. So all these small things make a difference. So as you can see here, I'm not using excessive force to loosen it, right? You cannot make it too tight because you will strip the plug in the cylinder head, and that's something you don't want to do because that means cylinder head has to come off. So this is cylinder number 2 that we're taking out. While I'm busy here, you can actually see that this motor is actually, although it's a bit dirty, but it's still as original as can be. And I see for an import vehicle, they're actually running an oxygen sensor. So again, cylinder number 2, you can see basically running, there's consistency in the motor so far. Right, so there's even wear on the plug, but she's not burning rich, she's not burning lean, and you can see that there's no fluids coming in, either from the sub-assembly side or from the head side. So again, this is cylinder number 3 that we're taking out of. Okay, this one is a bit tight because of the exhaust manifold gasket. Now this one is a bit too loose. This one is a bit too loose. Yeah. So when we tighten it up, we actually need to see what's going on. Number 3, if there's no thread issues. Okay, she should be loose. Yeah, off. So again, she's nice and clean, but she's got a little bit of fluid on it. Nothing to worry about. But again, even wear on it. So number 1, 2, and 3 are even. I'm gonna take out number 4. Let's see. See, number 4 feel nice and tight. So number 4, again, same thing. Even wear, same color. It's got a little bit of oil on the bottom, but nothing to worry about. Number 6, I'm gonna have to use a shorter extension because the battery is gonna be in the way there. So if you guys noticed that even though, see, this one is a bit hard and tricky, and something is not right here. That's how number 5 looks. So same thing with number 5. It's not totally dry. It's got a little bit of oil residue, which can mean that this motor will have to have a look at guides. But remember, she's standing for a while. So when motors stand, they normally pick up issues with your valve stem seals getting hard and stuff like that. So this car doesn't get driven much, and unfortunately that will become a little bit of an issue later on, where even though you don't do mileage on the vehicles, but because of it not doing that mileage, you actually, other things tend to break. So especially pipes, anything rubbery, pipes is the first thing to normally go. So I just want to try and get in here. Okay, sorry, I'm missing the hole completely. No, this is what does it? Okay, this is nice and it's a little bit of a tricky angle to get into here because of the battery tray, but nothing too hard to mention. I'm just going to take out this last bit by hand. Okay, so basically consistency over all 6 cylinders, but I'm noticing that from cylinder number 3 to number 6 a little bit of oil residue on it, but it's nothing to be concerned about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the new plugs, I'm going to get the feeler gauge, and then we're just going to check what the clearance should be on it. Let's get them, let's get the new plugs in. So yeah. Okay guys, so we're using the NGK BP6ES plugs on here. Right, this is your capping on them. So standard on the NGKs will be 0.8 millimeter. So you'll be able to see on the feeler gauge, buy yourself a feeler gauge, you'll be able to cap it like that. So we're going to cap each plug that way there. Another thing is when you're putting them in, I told you I don't have the rubber on my socket, so I'm going to just place it in by hand, but you don't want to slide it in because there is a chance that you might close the gap. So just place it in nicely, then you can do a hand tighten first. You can do a hand tighten first. Right. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tighten it, but I'm gonna do so you can see I'm not putting a lot of force on it, right? But what we can actually do is check the torque setting for it, and we can use a torque wrench if need be. For those that don't have a torque wrench, you've got to literally feel the torque on it. So you don't want it extremely tight, and you don't want it obviously loose, right? Let me get the torque setting for you. Okay, so your plugs torque setting should be on the M20 motor should be about 30 newtons, right? So I don't have the smaller torque wrench here. I'm gonna feel it as I torque them, and just make sure that your lead is on properly. Okay, one thing I did forget to mention, I need to take this guy out quickly, is that on the spark plugs, on the new ones that come out, you've actually got to change the head on there because these leads will not clip in. So I'm just gonna grab a plier quickly. Okay, so basically what I was talking about is these heads, you take a plier, loosen them up, right? So they've got to go in without the standard head fitting on them. So we're gonna redo this guy. I'll just check if the cap is not changed, which I highly doubt. Cap is still fine. I'll place it in nicely. So again, if you're using a torque wrench, about 30 newtons should be fine. I'm just gonna feel the torque as I go here. Okay. Okay. Right. So that feels about right to me. Let's do the next plug now. So next plug again. This is for cylinder number 2. Take the plug out. I'm gonna take out the head while I'm here. So again, the head comes out here, and then let's just gap this guy quickly. So it looks like the gaps are all low already. Right. Looks like a nice gap. This is for cylinder number 2. So we're gonna slide it in. So while I'm busy with this, I'm just gonna mention to you guys quickly that we are putting together your basic service kits. So you've got the video now, you've got the service kit, and that should be able to assist you as to maintaining your 320, 3 to 3 or 3 to 5i. Okay, so I'm just gonna feel this guy. 190, 90. See, I can feel it getting a bit tight already. No force, is it? Right. Cylinder number 3 quickly. So I'm not gonna fast forward this video. We're gonna go through each one like that. Okay, we're gonna gap number 3. I've taken the head off already quickly. We're gonna gap number 3. Again, repeat your process. Slide in. So the one that's gonna give us some fun and games is gonna be cylinder number 6, purely because of the space. So it's loose until I get to this point. Okay, so that number 3 is done. Let's go to cylinder number 4. Take the head off. Cap it. And let's get it in quickly. So I was telling you now that we're gonna have some fun and games by cylinder number 6. So we'll have to use a short extension. Just have a quick squeeze here. Looks like the oil is drained out. Then we're just gonna change the copper washer. I'll show you guys where's the copper washer on that. We can put the nut back on. I'm not gonna fill oil in now because I'm actually going to take the sump off on this guy here. So we're gonna do a sump gasket change. I see there's a lot of silicone on the sump. I don't know why there's silicone on the sump and no gasket for the mileage. This boat, I think it's a bit silly, but it is what it is. Okay, so I've kept this one already. This is for cylinder number 5. Okay, I'm gonna slide it in slowly. Okay, so I've hand tightened. I'm gonna go over to talking quickly. Okay, so let's go to the last one now. That's number 6. So once we finish this here, this will be the end of spark plugs. We'll put the leads back on, so we know we've kept them correctly. We've got a fresh set of plugs in here. Okay, so I'm going to use the short extension now quickly. And let's try and get this back in. Okay, so okay, now I'm going to try and get the socket back in here again. Okay, I think I'm in. Yeah, I'm in. It actually wasn't too bad. I actually feel like she's not getting tight. Let's see what's going on here quickly. No, she's in. So that wasn't too bad. So basically I used the short extension. Managed to find the threads properly. And there, just like so, we're going to talk now. And we should be good with plugs. Okay, so I'm just going to talk this guy properly down. And good. So what we're going to do now is, okay, so that's our 6 plugs in quickly. What we're going to do now is we're going to get our bogey cords back on. So on this specific vehicle, you can't really mix and match them up. They're all numbered firstly, and you'll see that the cords are noticeably shorter and in line with the respective plugs. So cylinder 1, you actually want to slide it over. This one won't clip on, but you'll hear or you'll feel it fit on properly, and you'll actually feel that she's tight. So make sure that they make contact properly as well, because spark will throw from there and you will pick up a misfire. Okay, that's good. This is number 4. Number 5. And number 6. Okay, so spark plugs done. We've taken them out. We've noticed that there's consistency over the wear of the plugs. The electrodes are basically wearing down evenly. There's no major rashing on the plugs, so we're not running lean, we're not running rich. There's no excessive oil coming in or fluids coming in from the bottom. There's no steam or water coming in from the top. The motor looks good, looks fresh, looks healthy. Next up, what we're going to do is, I see the oil is finished drained. I'm not going to put the sump plug on now because I told you I am going to take the sump off. So we can get to the filter. Right? I just want to see from a video point if it's easier for me to get to the filter here or from underneath. And I'm just going to show you a makeshift fix on what we should use. So yes, you do get a tool to take the filter out. Let's see if we can use the tool or if we can use the makeshift fix. Okay guys, so this is your tool or your oil filter tool, right? So you're going to wrap your oil filter basically through here. Either this here should be loosening, this one here should be tightening, right? So you figure it out, obviously anti-clockwise loosening, clockwise tightening, right? So it's actually easier to work from the bottom because you got more leverage. So I'm doing this here just to show you guys how it will go on, and obviously when the filter is out, I'll show you how it fits on, right? But I suggest that you guys grab it up from the bottom, grab it from the bottom, loosen it at the bottom. You've got more leverage here, you've got more play to work with. These here you can get at your local spare shops. They're about 100 and 150 rand. If you don't want to get one like this here, the other way to do it is take a screwdriver, punch it into the filter, loosen it. The problem there is when you're putting the new filter on, you're not going to be able to tighten it properly. So what I do suggest is rather get the tool 100, 150 rand, and that will work perfectly. So on this guy here, we've got a standard manifold on here, and we've got a little bit of gap on that manifold, right? So I'm able to use it here now. Okay, so my one is slipping here from the top again because I don't have leverage. So I'm gonna go underneath the car quickly. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave my tool on here, right? And I'm gonna grab the camera here quickly just so I can show you what I'm actually doing. So we've got a gap between the manifolds, right? And we're able to get into it here. So the tool can get into onto the oil filter from here, but you don't have a lot of leverage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back onto the tripod, but I'm going to slide it from the bottom and I'm going to take it out from the bottom. But this is how the tool fits over it, right? So let me just go back onto here. Okay, I'm going to grab my tool off quickly. Let me take my cloth with me. Okay, so it is easier for me to work here at the bottom as I do have more space. But only problem is I can't get the camera here with me, right? So I showed you guys how we're gonna do it. And yeah, I'm on video right now. Okay, so there's actually a bad oil leak, right? And that's oil on my face. So I'm gonna slide it over this way, yeah. Okay, so that is tightening. I'm gonna turn this guy around quickly. And yeah, that's much better. So I actually got a lot more leverage, of which now I could actually take off by hand. So I'm just gonna get my oil pan back underneath, and then we're gonna slide this guy back out. Okay, so there she out. Right, I'm just gonna wipe up real quickly. I'm just gonna get the cloth underneath here so I don't mess everywhere. And so just excuse me that I am getting a bit messier. We don't get to do services quite often. Okay, so oil filter out, and you can see oil is faulty in here. So I don't see any filings on here, anything of the sort, but the oil is faulty. So let me get the new filter quickly. We're gonna prime it. Just get some oil in it. I'm gonna show you how to do that now. Okay, so guys, what I've done is here quickly. Here's a new filter. It's a GUD filter. We've just topped up some oil in there, and I've just oiled the seal. I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna put that up. I think, let me see if I can just drop the camera here. You should be able to see me. Okay guys, here's the filter. So GUD brand. Just topped up with some oil in there. Put some oil on the seal. I'm gonna go down now quickly, and I'm gonna get the filter on from the bottom. Like I said, you can touch, you can see the filter from the top, but it's actually better to work from the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first get up here quickly. I'm gonna hand tighten this guy, and then I'm gonna use a snap to get it back on. Just a little bit chip because the filter goes in anymore. So I'm actually seeing here the filter goes on the skew. So do it on the screw first, and then it put. Okay, so I've missed some oil here. I'm just gonna wipe up on here quickly. And then I'm gonna grab my snap, and I'm just gonna tighten up. So doing a service isn't all that rough. Again, I got the strap on the bottom. Gotta turn it around now. The problem with the strap is that sometimes they can slide. So there is another tool that uses the chain. This guy is sliding. So let's see if we can make it. Okay, so she's nice and tight. Now, this we've done with the oil. While we're busy with this here, let's see if we stripping out the sub. This is what we get on there. So Sifis is going to start getting onto the sump. He's going to strip out the sump. So we're not going to fill oil now, right? He's not going to be aware. When we do fill oil, oil is a basic fill. Obviously we fill on the top here, use a nice funnel, fill on the top here. And 6 liters is suffice for the 6-cylinder motors. Okay, I'm on video here. Okay guys, so oil drain, plugs done, oil filter on. Now we're gonna get to the fuel filter. But this guy's a bit different. This guy's got like another filter on the side here. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's the first time I'm actually seeing that. And remember that the thing is an import vehicle, right? So I need to do more research on that. But the filter doesn't sit on this side here. It actually sits underneath the guy at the back. So it's a little bit tricky on this one here for the viewers to understand. But it's the same principle, right? So we've got a fuel filter, which will look like so the fuel filter looks like this. It's a fuel filter that you've got a flow rate on here. There should be an arrow. Okay, so it actually says your out. So this will be your inlet, that's your outlet there, right? So your flow rate is this way here. Normally the filter sits on this side here with the flow rate up. This will come back out to the rail. This one is a little bit different. This is sitting on the underneath of the car. So I'm going to go out now, quickly strip the filter, put it on, and I'll also assess the old filter. So let me get that done quickly. Okay, so guys, we are now under the car here quickly. I'm gonna remove this cover here just so I can work in peace with the filter. So I'm gonna take out the one Phillips, and then we've got two size 10 plastic nuts here. So on the South African models as well, we get the same covers. However, the petrol tank is different on this guy, so it looks like it's the opposite way of ours. So let's try and get to this notch here. Okay, so there's just a lot of market dirt on this nut. So you can see there's just one more, but there's a lot of dirt over this guy. Doesn't look like this nut belongs in this place here. So I'm gonna try and replace it. Anyway, I'm gonna move the lid back like this here, so it gives me a bit of space just to work. What size is this? Is this? No, it's a size 6, and I've only got 5.5 and 8 nut drivers. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my flat screwdriver just to undo this clamp. There's a leak coming from somewhere here. I don't know if the leak is coming from here. Is it the fault itself? I'll inspect it now. So expect there is pressure in here, right? You can open the cap and try and release a bit of pressure from there. That might help in some cases, but they are vacuum sealed. So let's open this cap more. So if you're working under the car, look, in our instances, we're not going to be working under the car, we'll be working in the engine bay. But mind you, the space on the engine bay side isn't that great either. So It looks like these pipes are very tight. It's going to be hard time to pull them apart. There's a lap over here. Let's open it a bit more so I can get it over the lap. Okay, there's it. Let's see where else is holding. So I actually want to slide this gap back. But I think the pipes are going to prevent me from moving here so much. I'd actually like to see where this fuel leak is coming from, and I hope it's not this pipe. Okay, so it's this pipe holding me here. And this pipe is tight. And yeah, looks like it's a bit plateau. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna go ahead and take off this here. I'm not gonna show you guys the full video on this because on the South African vehicles, the filter does not sit in this awkward place. But I'll show you the end product now. Okay, guys, so we've got plugs done, oil filter done, fuel filter is done, right? We're gonna move over to the airbox. So we need to replace the filter. In order to do that, we need to lift the airbox cover up here, right? But I'm gonna take it off anyway, yeah, because we need to, like I let you know earlier, that we need to get to the, or we needed to take the sump out. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna take off what I need to take off here, so we can get to the oil sump or the oil sensor at the bottom. So what I'm doing now is I'm removing the two size 10 nuts here that hold the airbox to the engine bay bracket. Where is it that I just... I'm just going to go grab a ratchet spinner quickly. I can't fit it in here. I can use it in here, so this will speed it up a bit. I can take it out by hand. Okay, then I'm just going to unplug the airbox over here, remove the wire here, and unplug the idling valve. And then I am going to move over and I'm going to strip out the pipes out here, right? So I'm going to take out this guy. This one here will pop out on the side here. Let me just pop it out here. Take out the idling valve. Clamp on this side. Right. See if I'm gonna move this guy out. I'll take out this clamp here now. So I'm taking, what I'm basically doing here now is quickly, I'm taking off the air pipe clamps. So it's just gonna make things easier. for the sensor side. Take out here. Okay, so air pipe or concertina pipe is out. Then normally what we do is there's clamps on the side of the airbox. So there should be another one under here. Is it here? Where is it now? Is it here? So it should be 1, 2, 3. Four clamps in here. Okay. Okay. There we go. So you got your four clamps holding your airbox down. Airbox comes out. You can see no oil in the airbox or in the airflow itself. This just looks nice. Now let's have a look at this filter. Yeah, so the filter is dusty, is tired, and here's our replacement filter. So this is how the filters should look. This is what's come out of the car. I'm just gonna get a cloth and wipe up on the inside here quickly. And then we got our air filter in. So I'm not gonna put back now, right? But you guys saw how we came out. Here's our airbox or air filter, and your airbox is basically gonna go on first. I'll just place it roughly for you. On first, and then you'll see normally she slides in, but this guy's got a cruise control unit in place here. Then she will, once as soon as she slides in, she'll clip on concertina pipe back on here, tighten the 3 clamps, and you got your air pipes back on. So we're gonna leave this off for Sifiso. He's gonna get on with his sump at the bottom. I'm taking the whole airbox basically off for him. So guys, that is it for your basic oil service. So again, I'm gonna recap what we went through here, right? We've been through your oil change. I need to invest in a cameraman, yeah. So anyway, we've been through an oil change. We've been through oil change. We've been through filter change, spark plugs. We've done gapping on plugs. We've done fuel filter, and we've done the air filter. Another thing is when we're doing the fuel filter on our South African vehicles, the filter sits on the left hand side of the vehicle, right? So you've normally got a clamp around it, and then you've got your 2 smaller fuel pipe clamps on it. You'll take off your clamp, you'll take off your fuel pipe clamps exactly the same like how I done at the bottom there. It's the same principle, only difference is the filter doesn't sit at the back, it sits in the front. Then what we're going to do is, obviously we're not going to fill oil now. You will fill 6 liters of oil in, start the motor up, let it run for a bit. You can always check it up with a dipstick, but it's fully drained. But it's crucial that you guys lift the car up on the passenger side to get most of the oil out. If you lift up on the right hand side, you're still going to be left with at least 500 mils to a liter of oil in the motor. I think that's about it for this one. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. I hope you found it informative, and I hope it does help you guys through your minor projects. Guys, if there's anything else you need to know, let me know. Drop a message. I'll respond to you as fast as I can. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe. You guys know what to do. And let's stay tuned for the next one. Cheers, guys.